bietjie wil loop, maar hy gaan nou net van verder inspan.
Moet jy nou nie vassit nie.
Moet ek seker. Okay, so we just going to try and help these people out of their ways here. They're a little bit stuck with the trailer in the thick sand. So we're going to try and just give them a light tuck, see if we can get them out of it. Guys, we done a good deed for the trip. Assisted some folks that was stuck, as you probably saw at the back there, in a piece of thick sand. It was on 2.4 bar on the trailer, and the vehicle was on 1.5 or 1.6, I think. So we gave it 2 tries, and then just deflated the tires properly. And then the third attempt was a very successful one, obviously, because they were recovered. So I got to use my Ironman recovery hook point at the back, or toe hook. The gentleman got to use his recovery toe strap as well that he bought new quite recently. So we're both happy for the occasion, and everybody's fine. And now we're continuing our journey back home. So I think that was a nice little action scene there for ending off the trip, which was really amazing. We saw a lot of places, or some very unique places, and met a couple of new people, like-minded folks. So definitely a trip to remember, especially with the scenery next to the ocean. It's brilliant. Guys, thank you very much for watching. For those who did, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit the notification button on the channel as well, in order not to miss any upcoming episodes. And if you ever consider driving up to Kleinsee or Richtersveld and you do have a 4x4, please do yourself a favor and drive all along the west coast. It's a slow go. You're doing on an average about 30-40 km per hour, so it's not a very fast drive, but the scenery is absolutely worth it. So don't be rushed or pushed for distance or time. Just take the drive, enjoy the sand. I think that's what I enjoy the most on this drive, is the sand. As the majority of it's sand, and there's certain sections that is really thick sand, and that's what I enjoy, because then I get to use the 4x4 function of the car and actually enjoy it. Like I said in the beginning, we're doing this route in order to avoid the tarmac roads. I mean, that's all you do every day of your life. If you drive tarmac roads. I wanted to do the sand and the scenery thing, so that's what we got to do on this trip. So absolutely worth it. We'll come back here again one day, just not sure when, but definitely worth it to do it more than once. alles. Nee, sien nou vir
trip op die in die nag moes roei.
Ek het dit op gesien.
en op die
Ek dink hulle myn wasminerale is.
and it's almost like the unexpected adventures on this trip doesn't end. So it's about, I think it was yesterday I heard this, you know, you get to know your vehicle up until a certain stage where you kind of know all the little squeaks and sounds and behavior that it drives with. And just as we hit the less off-road track, I decided let me just stop and walk around and just double check everything again, because there's something in my ear that I don't recognize and I don't feel comfortable with. And I think that's what made me make the decision and stop and have a look. And yeah, to my surprise, actually not my surprise, I freaking found a shock absorber bottom bolt on the right hand side. Was basically, I think it had about 1 or 2 threads left to go, then it would have fallen out or loose the nut, and eventually the bolt would have come out, and we are just about to hit the main road, the N7, and pick up high speed basically. So it would have been very risky actually. So luckily we did have a jack. Luckily I did have that size spanners and sockets in my box, and luckily the nut wasn't lost yet, so I could just tighten the whole lot up again. But yeah, guys, please, when you drive these like extreme long and off-road conditions, if you hear something funny, rather just stop, check it out, and if possible tighten it up if you found the culprit. Don't just assume, nah, it's okay, the vehicle is still driving. It is still driving until it goes wrong, and then you're stuck, because then your parts are missing, or even worse, it's more costly breakdowns that you will expect or experience, not expect, sorry. So, and yeah, as you saw, our friends that we recovered from the sand earlier today, they came along, stopped, offered to help. In the end, they just supported with some moral support, which was also great. So Donnie, Aaron's, thanks a lot for your stopping by and keeping us conversation. I hope you guys had a good trip. It sounds like you had a very exciting trip as well. So everything seems fine now. So I've used the new bottle jack that I've bought for the trip. Actually, I've used the new recovery tow hook at the back for the first time on this trip as well. I just bought it before the trip. So let's hope it stays at that and it doesn't get any worse. And yeah, make sure when you do your trips, if you're not a hands-on mechanical kind of guy yourself, just get the basic tools or spanners at least, just to try and help yourself out should you get stuck out in the middle of nowhere like we did now. And then you know you can drive with peace of mind. You'll get to the end destination safely and in one piece. That's the most important. And obviously this forms part of the whole memory and experience of the trip, which makes it so much more memorable. So yeah, be prepared. I think that's the best way to put it, if possible. So hope you finally now enjoyed these episodes of this trip with us. Thank you once again for watching. Keep well, stay safe, be prepared, and see you on the next episode. Thank you for watching, chaps. Cheers. Alright chaps, just something to keep in mind that you can put on your list of planning if you're looking or thinking of doing a trip like this up the west coast. If you're heading up or down from Lutzville to Groenrivier or vice versa, don't worry too much about the distance. Time wise, you're looking at about 4 to 5 hours of travel, hassle-free travel. So it's quite time consuming, obviously because you're driving slow due to the road conditions and sand conditions and being off-road and that. Water, we were 2 people. We basically packed 50 liters of water for for drinking and cleaning and showering and all that stuff. We used about, I think, exactly half of that. So it obviously depends on how constrained you are using your sources. But yeah, you should pack at least, I would say, 30 liters to 40 liters of water. Obviously we did the trip in April, so it wasn't that extremely hot. Power wise, I've just checked the meter now. Since last week Saturday until we get back home, we've consumed around about 2,500 watts of energy on that. So make sure you have enough battery power or solar power or whatever means you use to charge your auxiliary system. Just make sure that you do have enough of that. Then you should be fine as well. Last but not least is we did pack 3 jerry cans of fuel, of diesel, because we weren't sure how much we're going to drive around up in the Richtersveld. At this stage we have a full tank of fuel, and we still have 1 full jerry can left of diesel that we're taking back home. I think roughly you're looking at about just over 200 liters of fuel that you will consume as well. So add that to your planning list for your trip, and I hope that it helps give you an idea on what you're using. For the guys driving your V6s and your V8s, obviously you know that you'll be heavier than what we consume, especially in the sandy patches that chows a lot of fuel or uses a lot of fuel. But yeah, that's it. Hope it helps.